Welcome back to the Motorious podcast, where we talk about all things cars each week. You're here with Elizabeth Puckett, editor of Motorious. I'm here with my associate editor, Steven Sims, and you can find us on Instagram, me, Notorious _ Elizabeth, and Steven is Steven Sims 13, I believe, on Twitter and Instagram. So let's jump in and talk about some headlines this week. Dodge is trying to go out with a bang, but instead they're going out with an explosion,
which is kind of a bang when you think about it, just not the right kind of bang.
So what's going on with these exploding engines?
Well, so I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of claims about what's going on, but basically they're saying that if they're trying to push the power to a certain level and the engines are literally exploding, which I would assume that means that the head gaskets are blowing, but they don't get into a lot of detail about what that means. But I've seen plenty of people pushing their car, usually in those burnout competitions where they've blown the head gasket. So that's what I assume it means. I don't know. Maybe they have a piston flying through the air, though. That's always entertaining to see. But it's troubling to me because and a lot of people are like, oh wow, that's hilarious, and see muscle cars and blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, this really shows that they have stripped away so much engineering talent from the Dodge muscle cars. Stellantis has. I mean, they disbanded the SRT division a month after Stellantis was formed, and we were told at the time, no, it'll improve the performance of the muscle cars and all brands under Stellantis. And we're seeing the exact opposite. I mean, because come on, how many times do you see some guys in some like backwoods town, middle America, with minimal tools and minimal engineering experience, create like a 1200 horsepower Hellcat build, and the thing doesn't blow up.
Right. Yeah.
But here we have Dodge with all of their fancy corporate power, and they can't do it.
Do we know what figures they're aiming for here, or like?
No, they won't say. But you know, I bet you it's something like 900 horsepower or 1,000 horsepower. Wow, guys.
850, 890.
Yeah, 850. It's 20 more than the jailbreak. I mean, come on.
I thought they were just going to do an ethanol kit, which is like stupid easy
and low risk, and that would have been smart. Who knows what it is that they're trying to do? I don't know.
Tuning, even they could get a lot out of their tunes.
Well, I wonder if they haven't upgraded the supercharger or something like that. Who knows? But whatever it is, they can't figure it out. But this, I think, just uncovers the deeper problem within Stellantis, which has existed ever since the Fiat was allowed to buy Chrysler for pennies on the dollar and the taxpayer got screwed, which is it's just been poorly managed. And we were lucky to get what we got with Dodge. I'm not like tearing Dodge apart and Dodge sucks, because I know some people, whenever I'm critical of anything Dodge, they fly into a fit of rage. The Hellcats are awesome. The Demons could have been more, but still pretty interesting car. The red eyes are great. The jailbreaks are great. But I think we're lucky we've gotten that much. And I think it's going to all be mismanaged into just absolute dumpster fire here.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong.
Fear when we're talking about the electric situation. I don't want to keep like banging on this issue, but if they can't figure out how to do better with the Hellcat engine, and I haven't seen much reliability issues from them. I don't know if you have, but so far as I know, they're great engines.
They seem
to
be
can't get more power out of that, how are we trusting them to get, which by the way, I saw the figures today. It was something like equivalent to 600 horsepower for that Banshee concept. So the concept, which maybe I'm not remembering things correctly, but I could have sworn they were promising that it would be faster than the Hellcat and it would be more of a, it would be a better car than the Hellcat.
They're talking a lot of hypotheticals, and it's
but even their concept, so in theory, isn't better than the Hellcat. Yeah, I mean, they're already backtracking on this, and I already don't like it because 600 horsepower, like that's not bad, but we've gotten used to 700 horsepower now at this point. They've spoiled us. Maybe
they did, yeah. Well, so this is the part that just it troubles me that yeah, it really is going to be like once you hit the mid 70s, American muscle emaciated into pretty much just, economy car levels of performance, but they still try to market it as a super sexy, fast cars that it just didn't really fit.
Mm-hmm.
And American muscle didn't really recover from that until partway through the 80s. And then it was a slow process getting it back up to where we are today. And that's all going to go away. That sucks.
It does suck.
Um,
And I
but
don't see it coming back around our prime, maybe our lifetime, but maybe not our prime.
who knows? I mean, who knows what's around the next bend? But
Dude.
this doesn't look good. I really hope that things change, but and I hope I'm wrong as well. I'm not trying to do like I'm so much smarter than everyone else, but this is troubling, and I can't just not say anything about it. But yeah, this may be we're looking back on the teens and the early 20s as the good old days of
Mm-hmm.
performance cars because what's coming around the bend. Yeah, did you ever see that movie Looper, by the way? And we're on the topic. Remember that? It came out like what was it, like
Familiar.
10 years ago or something like that? I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
It had Bruce Willis, and he was this hitman who would kill people who would time travel
Mm-hmm.
for this company. And it was like this dystopian future, but like not horribly distant future. And all the cars were these crappy electric cars with solar panels all over like every body panel. And they went like super slow and they had like no power. And I remember the time people were like, wow, that really sucks and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah,
And
part of
automakers
me
were like,
wants
hey, let's do that.
yeah, let's do that. That'll be awesome. And we'll tell
Cool.
everybody it's a performance car. I don't know. Again, I hope I'm wrong on this, but the fact that they can't put together this final last call model, which all the other ones have been pretty much just cosmetic
Mm-hmm.
packages. They're nothing super great.
Yeah, they
And they
just have a
finally go
bunch of options that you could have gotten like
yeah.
anyways.
And then one or two of them were just jailbreaks. So it's what they've
Mm-hmm.
already done. And so this one supposedly, and we don't know, is going to be a moonshot. And then there's a delay, and then they try to hint that it's because of parts shortages, supply chain issues. And then we learn no, it's because the engines are blowing up when they're pushed to the limit.
Oh, Dodge.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
on to our next headline. Switching gears. So,
Yeah.
Tesla.
Tesla.
That's the new EV. Now,
Mhm.
Tesla Roadsters are now collectibles.
Yep. Yeah,
Who would have thought?
the first gens, the repurposed Lotuses are now. I mean, these again, these things were horrible. Even Elon Musk has ripped on them because they took a Lotus lease and they threw in some heavy, not very advanced batteries. They just kind of wedged them in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and called it good. And it was their first attempt at a somewhat mass market EV. They didn't make very many of these. It was like 1,200, 1,500. It wasn't a lot. And I
Sure.
think I have it somewhere in here. But anyway, no, 2,450, 2,450 of these things. But I think that's partly why they're so sought after because they didn't make very many of them.
Mm-hmm.
So now everybody's all weepy-eyed nostalgic for the first gen Roadsters, which were horrible, but whatever. And yeah, I remember. Do you remember that Top Gear episode where they tested one out and there's all the drama around it, and oh, they lied about this, that, and the other, and the accusations flying all over the place, and
Mm-hmm.
but it was just a horrible car. Let's just be honest here.
For
The
$200,000, couldn't you get a really
well, I don't think
good
these
Tesla now?
were they 200,000?
No,
Oh,
no, no. I'm talking about this one
oh, the
that
one that
sold.
that auction.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that auctioned for yeah. Sorry, I was like, no, MSRP. They were like 80 something.
Right.
Yeah, but that one sold on Bring a Trailer. Yeah, but it was the signature 100 edition. Yeah, for $212,000. And yeah, most of them are around like 90,000, which is almost no, MSRP was 98,000.
Mm.
Like that's insane to me. But well, here we are, weird market, I guess. I don't get it.
You could get a GNX for that kind of money, or a Supra.
Well, yeah, a Gen 4 Supra. Yeah, good
Yeah.
luck. Maybe if it's a non-turbo model, but yeah. Those, speaking of insane prices.
Well, maybe that's why actor says he's done with Tesla. Who's done with Tesla and why?
So I had to look him up. It was
Always Sunny in
Glenn
Philadelphia.
Howerton. He's on Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I'll
Which
be honest,
character is he?
I don't know, because people are always shocked when I say I've never watched the show. I never have.
I
I've had lots of
have,
people
but
tell me
I
I
don't
should.
know which one he is.
I don't know. He
Let's
must be
see.
a more minor character. I don't know. He's in the one picture, but I'm not sure which one he is, to be honest. Yeah, I've never seen the show. So
Or why is he
he,
done with Tesla?
so he parked his car in a parking garage in LA,
Uh-huh.
and it was down in a subterranean level, and the battery died on his car, or it died on the fob, and he couldn't unlock the car because he couldn't use his phone to unlock it, because he couldn't get a cell signal or a Wi-Fi signal down in the garage. And Tesla does sell these little key cards that you can put in your wallet just in case your fob dies, but apparently he didn't get one of those, and oopsie. So it took him like a long time and this huge ordeal. He kept calling Tesla, and he claimed that they weren't helpful about getting his car unlocked, so he could get it on a trailer and get it out of there, or get it on a wrecker and get it out of there. So he's done with Tesla. And I'm like, this sort of thing can happen with any car with the
Right.
fob.
Okay, so Glenn
and no
Howerton is
blade.
Mac for anybody
Oh,
else who's wondering that. I looked it up. He's the
good
guy in the
job.
middle. So no,
Oh,
not
okay.
Mac. That's not his name. I'm
I
such a
don't know.
horrible Always Sunny in Philadelphia fan.
I have no idea.
He's the guy in the middle. I can't remember his name. He's
That
the
guy.
brother. Yeah. The
Okay.
brother dude.
Is he a very big character in the show?
Yeah, he's like one of the main characters.
Oh, okay. See, what do I know? Well, anyway, but the point being, though, like all these cars that don't have a blade key and they don't have a physical lock, I mean, you do run this risk. What if you're out in the middle of nowhere and your fob dies? How are you going to get in your car? Like it is a problem. So, I guess the backup is you have that key card, so there's something there. Hopefully, you just keep that on your wallet, and you have your wallet on you. I don't know why you wouldn't, but I guess some people don't, because they're weird.
Well, it's like the guy who was trying to sell his Tesla, and the battery was dead, and he couldn't get into it because he didn't have the key or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm paranoid about all this stuff, because back in high school, I locked my keys in the car, and my parents were out of town, and I had to walk for like miles to go get a key from my house, to get in my house, to get the extra key for the car and get a ride back to my car, and it took like half the day. And so I learned a lesson from that. But apparently there are people who are like, in their 40s or whatever, who haven't learned that lesson still. I don't know how that's possible.
Well, and the car windows not break anymore? Why don't
break the window? Yeah, I don't know. The
if
Tesla
you have
windows
to. I mean,
you didn't want to do that because I don't know. Well, I don't know. If you break the window in a Tesla, you still can't start it up because the fob was dead. So it wouldn't have solved the problem.
Yeah. Okay.
You're thinking like there's a key stuck in the ignition and you locked it in there. Nope, this is different.
Well, it seems very practical, I think, is what we've learned here. So
the key card. Yeah.
This was a fun one. Street racing Corvette driver causes major damage in Las Vegas.
This was fun.
Oh, wow. I say sarcastically. He hit 7 cars, including a Supra. I got a picture of it in here. One of the new gen Supras. I think the Supra was involved in the race, so I don't have too much sympathy for him.
Yeah, because with that kind of damage, he had to have also been going fast.
But look at this entire intersection, bus stop. I don't even know. Dude just hit everything.
Which part of Vegas was this in? Not the Strip, obviously.
Flamingo Road and Fort Apache Road.
I don't know Vegas that well. Okay. Well, anyway.
In the report, it didn't say that anybody died, so that's good.
Well,
but 7 cars, that's a lot. It's a lot of cars to hit. And this Corvette, ooh.
Yeah, the back end just disintegrated on it.
These C8s are not holding up, it seems like.
Well, so they handle really well. I don't know. I haven't driven one yet. I still, yeah. Anyway, I'll get around to that one day. But it's supposed to handle really well, but people are wrecking out in them all the time. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't know. I mean, obviously any car has a limit, and so they're pushing it beyond the limit.
I've seen them go up against much more powerful cars and win.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, the handling does have a huge, advantage there.
Actually, that's
So what's happening?
that's the front end that disintegrated. Okay, I was like, wow, the back end's gone. No, that's the front end because you look at the intakes on the side. Yeah, but
The
anyway,
frunk.
yeah, that's the front area. Probably because he hit people and it just exploded.
That's insane.
Wow.
I feel like we're talking about a C8 something every podcast now.
It's almost as bad as Hellcats.
Oh
and there are
no.
fewer of them. They don't make that many C8s.
C8 drivers? What are you doing?
What? Yeah,
You
we know
guys
it's
got
not
drivers?
all of you guys, but there's a certain group of C8 drivers, and it wasn't stolen, right?
Mm-mm. No, they're just racing. I mean,
But the
racing,
Hellcats, at least usually it's a stolen
yeah.
Hellcat.
At least it's somebody else's Hellcat usually.
Yeah, drive it like you stole it.
Mm-hmm.
Should just start putting those bumper stickers on the C8s. Drive it like you stole it.
Drive it like it's a Hellcat that you stole. Speaking of stealing, man steals Bass Pro Shop valet cars.
Yeah.
What is this guy doing? First of all, they have valet at Bass Pro.
Well, that's what I was thinking at first, but apparently
it's that pyramid in the Memphis
pyramid
one.
in Memphis, and apparently it's really swanky. I've never been there, but I
haven't been inside, but I've seen it. Yeah, and I've heard that it's the largest pyramid in America. So there's that.
Sure. Wow.
I'm not sure how many pyramids are in America.
Apparently it's pretty swanky. And I'm like, wow, okay. I've never thought of Bass Pro Shop as being like high end. I mean, some of the things
I think there's a restaurant at the top. I'm not sure. There's definitely an elevator that goes right through the middle of it. I've never been inside. I've just heard the stories, the tales.
I don't know.
Still, valet at Bass Pro. What?
Yeah. Well, wait until you hear the cars that the guy swapped.
What do you
One was an Infiniti QX80, which is, I mean, that's not exactly cheap, but the other one was a Mercedes-Benz S63. So people with serious money are going there and having their cars valeted. I mean, that is an expensive car. Yeah,
that is. And what was he doing after he stole them?
So they didn't say. But he started off the day before. He took stole a gun out of one of the valet cars.
Mm-hmm.
There was some dispute where the police are saying that the guy was a Bass Pro Shop employee, and Bass Pro Shop saying no, he wasn't. And the news is like, well, yeah, he might have been a contractor, and the valet service is all contractors. But then it's not clear if he's working for the valet service, and I don't know, like. We don't really know how he got a hold of these cars. Was he one of the valets? Do you just know one of the valets? Did he just, go up to the valet booth and take the keys and take the car? No idea. It's not clear. But it sure does confirm a lot of stereotypes about valeting your car, like from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Relax, I'm a professional.
That was a great scene in the movie.
It is.
Well, I don't know, but the whole issue of valeting your car, I'm on the fence about it. Because there's a few restaurants in Atlanta where you have to valet your car, and when we go to those places, I always insist that we take the truck.
So you don't want to hand over the Hellcat?
Yeah.
Well, you have the black key you can give them, so it cuts to like 400 horsepower.
It's still 500 horsepower.
Yeah,
it's still a Hellcat.
Cut it to 150 horsepower or something like that.
I mean, honestly, if somebody wanted to have fun in a Camry and act up, if it's not their car, give it hell. I mean,
you should cut it to like 50 horsepower. You can barely move the car.
Well, didn't Dodge say that it was going to cut it down to? It is either 3 horsepower or 3 miles per hour.
You're gonna say three horsepower wouldn't move that hippopotamus.
Yeah, I know.
There's no way. I think 50 would be struggling, but well, it's the advantage of having a hoopty. I'm just saying. Have that to go to the valet restaurants.
Yeah.
Be like, I've memorized every scratch.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine like taking like just a junk car to go like valet it and then come
Like
out
like an old
complaining?
Chevy Cavalier.
Yeah. Complaining that there's some new damage to it or something like that. Oh, the seat's out of place or something like that. That'd be awesome.
That
I'm
would be
saying.
awesome.
Just mess with the valet guys.
Oh,
Have
it's
you seen this?
Ace Ventura, where he does that.
Does he? I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember.
Oh, the original movie. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've only seen that movie about 1,000 times, so I should know
Oh,
this.
you should know that. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna say?
I've just been seeing this meme go around lately about some restaurant. It says like no manuals for the valet.
Oh yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that. Whoa, what is this world coming to?
Oh my gosh. I mean, they professionally park cars. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking of
yeah.
taking the Firebird, which is a 6-speed, and then it has a weird lockout for the reverse and for backstory, anybody who hasn't heard me talk about this car, it has like an insane cam on it.
Wait, you would hand the keys to a
I
valet?
just want to
No,
see what would happen.
no, you wouldn't actually do it
I
though.
wouldn't actually do it, but it would be funny. Inside my head, it's
You
very
would hear the
funny.
dog teeth grinding right after they got in
Oh,
it. Yeah, you would not allow
rip
that.
somebody out of the car. Oh,
Yep, exactly. No, you wouldn't do it.
no. Let's get into our inventory picks so we can talk about somebody else's car. Because now I'm like shook
You're
about
ready to
that.
cry.
Yeah. My baby. So you picked 1976 Jeep CJ7 Franken Jeep.
Yep,
What's a
the
Franken Jeep?
Franken Jeep. This is a
From heyday.
fairly famous build. They took a
Kind of cheap.
CJ7 and they added what they believe is a 4BT Cummins diesel. It does say it's a Dodge Ram diesel engine stamped on the intake there. And they paired it up with an auto transmission. So you got a diesel engine, so wonderful torque for off-roading, especially if you're going through mud and such. But what's really great about this build, besides the snorkel and the Stinger bumper, which is pretty cool, is the bed fully articulates. So you can really go over all kinds of obstacles and keep your wheels down instead of having those rear wheels lifting off the ground big time. So this is quite the build. I mean, yeah, some people look at it and be like, oh, what a piece of junk. But, you know, you could have some serious fun in this vehicle. This is, I'm not so sure about those steps though. I'd probably take those off. I'm not a fan of side steps, but I'm also tall and I can just jump in and lift it.
Say you've never needed them, have you?
But those steps catch on things, and especially like out here in the desert, you know, you're dealing with rocks and all that, and that catches a step like that. And I've seen steps get just absolutely mangled. I've seen people have to cut off or unbolt those steps just to recover a vehicle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, so many of those. I mean, if they're plastic, they just, you know, break and, and you can laugh about how dumb they are. But if they're steel, like those look like they're steel, yeah, they either get mangled or you can't get it, you know, it gets hung up on an obstacle and you have to cut it off or take it off to get it off the obstacle. So I'm not a fan of the steps. Other than that, it's the only thing I'd change on this. Wonderful build. That would be a lot of fun.
I gotta ask. I know I went through all the pictures, but is it a manual or an automatic?
No, it has an automatic. What am I saying?
Okay,
I think originally it was a manual. Yeah, okay, so that's one thing.
Two things.
Be great if it was a manual, but still the rest of it's awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm back in project car mode and I keep saying that I want to get a Nova, but like the Chevy 2 Novas, not the fastback where it looked like a little Chevelle and drop an LS engine, I know, cliche, into it. And this is already like, yeah, it's already got something started with it, but it needs some work. I'm not there's not a lot of details to this. So my imagination.
I mean, they got the engine in there.
Yeah. I'm not sure what this engine is.
Wonder what I was gonna say, is that an LS?
Looks like no, it's not an LS, some kind
Yeah.
of crate engine. It's fuel
Yeah,
injected.
it doesn't look LS. It's definitely fuel injected. I'm not sure what it is. Is it
I'm
350 maybe?
fuel
Uh,
injected 350 crate engine that isn't an LS.
okay,
I
good point.
guess. I mean,
Now,
Chevy Performance does have a lot of
they
different crate
do
engine
have a lot of
options,
crates. Oh my gosh, throughout the
but
years.
the valve covers don't
The valve covers are
indicate
those are throwing me
anything.
off.
Yeah, because those definitely look like Chevy 350 valve covers.
They do. They do.
And this intake looks like a crate engine intake.
Well, maybe it's a Frankenstein build.
Maybe.
Maybe
I
it's a
need more
feeder
details on this. And
which
it's
is
got a
not-
really good foundation.
Oh,
And it
well,
looks
with
like it could
brakes,
be a
yeah.
good autocross car too. It's got
Yeah.
some
Got
Coney
some good-
shocks. I
yeah.
mean,
It's got good suspension setup there.
so I could take this, do a little building on it, and have a really good autocross car,
That'd be a
which
lot of
I would
fun.
love to do. Except
Hmm.
knowing how much these cars are going for
Oh
in
man.
piece of S condition, I'm guessing this one is probably way outside of my budget. So
This is why with my budget I'd be doing the Caprice build. The 92 Caprice. Hey, actually.
maybe save it for next week.
Gotta look that one up.
We'll
see if
talk.
they have
We'll
any.
talk about that next week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you've been listening to the Motorious podcast. I forgot to tell you, but you should definitely like and subscribe and share. Just anything, comment,
Yep.
and come back and see us next time.